Mr. Secretary, I've known you for a while, and I respected very much Senator Rubio, even when we disagreed. Senator Rubio was a principled statesman. Secretary Rubio, however, as we've seen in the past few months, is something different entirely. As a senator, you spoke often and forcefully about the dangers of executive overreach. You warned America not to lose its moral clarity or sacrifice democratic principles for short-term gain. Senator Rubio recognized that we cannot allow the executive branch to unilaterally determine the direction of the United States foreign policy without accountability to Congress. Secretary Rubio is doing precisely what Senator Rubio feared, withholding congressional appropriated funds, stonewalling oversight, and acting as if laws passed by this body are optional. Secretary Rubio has presided over the dismantling and destruction of everything Senator Rubio once defended. So although you may be the Secretary of State, the acting head of USAID, the National Security Advisor, the Archivist of America, the empire you have stumbled upon is not one of influence, sir. It is a kingdom of ash. So I ask, was it worth it?
Was it worth it? That was the question of House Foreign Relations member Gregory Meeks to Marco Rubio. Sometimes you can shiv someone in a quiet way, in a silent way, in actually a way that makes them feel terrible. Now, granted, that person has to have an actual conscience, which Marco Rubio, as bad as he is, and the fake Bible quotes and the rest he used to do, has always shown he has some actual beliefs. This would be easy for Ted Cruz or somebody else. But Gregory Meeks saying to him, was it worth it? Saying to him, Secretary Rubio is trying to do exactly what Senator Rubio feared. And speaking like, hey, we were friends once. I thought I knew you. I think is the most effective way here. And I'm an advocate of alpha Democrats. You go after the Republicans. You point out where their failures. Like this kind of thing won't work with Marjorie Taylor Greene or Donald Trump or those kinds of people. They don't have a conscience. They're just completely awful. Marco Rubio is different, and let me tell you why. As the congressman said there, he once feared too much executive power, questioned it. He once stood up and said Ukraine was in one of the most important foreign policy battles. One of the most important things that we could do was to defend Ukraine. He was a foreign policy hawk against Putin. Of course, that's all gone away, and now he had to sit there. Honestly, he looked like his soul had shriveled up and died inside in that terrible meeting at the Capitol or at the Oval Office where where they were doing the 1-2, where J.D. Donut ordering Vance and the orange Jabberwocky there were just screaming at Zelensky, a guy who's Churchillian, a guy who's Martin Luther King or FDR, just a terrific leader. They're berating him over Russia attacking his country, and you could see Marco Rubio the moment his soul died in it. Not only was Rubio for all of this, he knew who Donald Trump was, which Congressman Meeks was getting at there too. Let me read you a few of the things he had to say about Donald Trump, because they're quite telling these days. He warned others not to do what he's now done. He said, for years to come, there are many people on the right, in the media and voters at large, that are going to have to explain and justify how they fell into the trap of supporting Donald Trump.
You compared Donald Trump to a third world dictator yesterday in an interview with the New York Times. How so?
Well, I don't know about a dictator. I said a third world strongman. He's running for president, so no matter what, he won't be a dictator unless our republic completely crumbles, which I don't anticipate it will. But yeah, here's what happens in many countries around the world. You have a leader that emerges and basically says, don't put your faith in yourselves, don't put your faith in society, put your faith in me. I'm a strong leader, and I'm going to make things better all by myself. This is very typical. You see it in the third world. You see it a lot in Latin America for decades. It's basically the argument he's making that he single-handedly is going to turn the country around. We've never been that kind of country. We have a president. The president is an American citizen who serves for a period of time, constrained by the constitutions and the powers vested in that office. The president works for the people, not the people for the president. And if you listen to the way he describes himself and what he's going to do, he's going to single-handedly do this and do that without regard for whether it's legal or not. Look, I think people are going to have to make up their mind. I can tell you this, no matter what happens in this election, for years to come, there are many people on the right, in the media, and voters at large that are going to be having to explain and justify how they fell into this trap of supporting Donald Trump, because this is not going to end well.
Yes, senator can't drink a glass of water. Oh, I'm sorry, now you're, secretary can't drink a glass of water. Remember? During the State of the Union response. Yeah. In any case, right. What happened to that guy? Because you're going to be the person who's going to have to answer for it in years, how you fell into this. He referred to Donald Trump as a con man.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio is with us now from Houston. Senator, good morning.
Good morning.
Did someone hit the panic button last night?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I can just tell you that a con artist is about to take over the Republican Party and the conservative movement, and we have to put a stop to it. And part of it is, look at the report you guys just did. Donald Trump last night had no answers on the issue of health care, and if you listen to that report that just led into this, the media is pumping him up as some sort of unstoppable force. Donald Trump has portrayed himself now consistently as fighting for the working people, and he has a record of sticking it to working people for 35 years. If any other candidate in this race had his record, there would be nonstop reporting on it. But unfortunately, he's being pumped up because many in the media with a bias know that he'll be easy to beat in a general election. So we're going to put a stop to it now. There is no way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist.
He said that Donald Trump would be a guy selling watches on the corner if he hadn't been born, wealthy with $400 million given to him by his dad, which Donald Trump actually ended up selling Trump watches. He got it right anyhow. And yet somehow he stayed with this man. He agreed to be Secretary of State. He's undone a lot of what he did in standing up for Zelensky against Putin. He also understood that soft power was important. This is actually one of the things that Ronald Reagan got right, which was when you abroad, USAID is just indispensable. Save children's lives, get them the vaccinations they need, the food they need, take care of them abroad, in Africa, in Asia, in some of these other countries in these areas that were going through difficult times. And guess what? People will love America. People will appreciate America. It is a way to win over allegiance against bad people. And yet, Marco Rubio sat there and watched them illegally destroy USAID. Just watched, that goofy incel loser Elon Musk, while not, letting his potbelly stick out in his yacht for once, go in and destroy USAID with not a vote for him. Honestly, he is the embodiment of everything they said about George Soros. Elon Musk is the guy, the billionaire in a back room planning out all of our economic lives without us having any say and never having gotten a vote. And Marco Rubio, the guy that supposedly understood USAID, allowed that to happen. He also stood up for a bipartisan immigration bill. Talked about how Trump, let's read that to you too, was somebody who tapped into people's anger, like with immigration. People are frustrated. People are angry. They feel left behind. And then they're told, look, you have to be against immigration. Quite frankly, there are millions of people in this country that are tired of what's going on. He was part of the solution on immigration. He's become part of the problem. He was part of the solution on Russia. He's now become part of the problem, part of the solution on USAID. And he knew all along what Trump was, and he said it during the primaries. He said it after, and he's said it since. And he's become the exact thing that he once deplored. So maybe the best way to end this is his former friend, too, because he was a senator, Jackie Rosen, who said, I'm going to answer this like a Jewish grandmother, which was gutsy of her, because Marco Rubio's new friend, Elon Musk, might have just charged in and just Sieg Heiled right there and said, what happened to you? What do you tell your family? Why don't we end with that segment? Because Marco Rubio, if he does have a conscience that I believe, is going to be sitting there wondering what happened to him for a long time, as many other Republicans will too.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to get right into it. Secretary Rubio, I'm going to embrace my Jewish mother instincts for a moment. So as a mother, a senator, and a fellow human being, I can tell you that I'm not even mad anymore about your complicity in this administration's destruction of U.S. global leadership. I'm simply disappointed. And I wonder if you're proud of yourself in this moment when you go home to your family, because I've always found you, Senator Rubio, to be a bipartisan, pragmatic partner, a true believer that the U.S. is stronger when we lead with diplomacy and development. You have a strong record on this. But I don't recognize, Secretary Rubio,